Hello, everyone. Brett the Comic Novice here, and I am super excited to discuss and review this issue number one of Superman, written by Joshua Williamson, drawn by Jamal Campbell, I believe. Yes. And it's a fantastic because I had a great conversation with one of my students today about Superman being actually one of the best superheroes. And in this comic, I feel as though that Joshua Williamson basically gives us a good outline on why Superman perhaps is one of the best comic heroes in all of, you know, superhero comics. And I think there's many levels to it, but I just want to get into it because this is super exciting. I love this. There's one point where I will tell you super cringy moment within this book, but that being said, there's so much things to enjoy and appreciate. So, starting us off, this is just one gorgeous cover. It is a wraparound, and I feel as though it does more than just wrap around. I feel as though it is setting up like probably the first bits of the Joshua Williamson run on Superman. We last left Lex Luthor being arrested, put in prison. We have brand new villains in this series, according teased by Joshua Williamson, and I just think that this is so great. And when I read this bottom part right here, the Man of Steel back in action, it almost, I grew up in the day, but never read any of the, Man of Steel Superman books. I would love to go back to more than like just the standard Superman action comic Superman books, and I don't mean John Kent. That being said, I think there's a couple things that, yeah, anyway. As we open, we kind of go back in time to Clark Kent as a child in Smallville with his parents. The opening page, though, however, I really appreciate as it kind of spells out the Superman Clark Kent legacy, taking the values that he was taught from his parents, adopted parents, being truth and justice. They left out the American way, and you'd be annoyed at that, but you know what? I love the Superman. I love the hope that he brings. And, if you're going to take that out, I'm fine with that as long as, he stands for truth, justice, and also hope. And within these first opening pages, we get kind of like, who he is, where his birth parents, his being found by his adopted parents, and then you kind of have like a whole, introduction to Lex Luthor and bringing us into the modern day. As we last left Superman in Action Comics 1050, Lex Luthor basically had everybody forget who he was because it's supposed to be for the best. We are introduced to Livewire, which the only reference I have of Livewire is in the Supergirl CW series. So, that's all I'm going on. It is a good back and forth between the two. And one of the things that I appreciated, not only was it a good art going back and forth, but Lex Luthor is talking to himself, knowing that he is being heard by Superman Clark Kent. And I appreciate, like, as he is fighting Livewire, we are constantly being given these thoughts that he is overhearing, and I love it. It is absolutely phenomenal. I appreciate the thoroughness that Joshua Williamson did in reading or writing this book. Now, I think probably to me, for personally, the most cringiest page of this story comes when we find out that Livewire was going to abduct her old boss during his wedding, and then we cut to a Polaroid montage of Superman serving as the whoever, Reverend, whatever, establishing marrying these two. One thing that I think is constantly overlooked is the amount of voices that, Superman Clark Kent hears. I like that he basically has noise canceling headphones on because he hears everything. All the criticism. Where is he? What's he doing? Why is he not doing this? I love the fact that this is more of a thing. You wonder how many times at night he hears cries that he just can't get to. I like how great the character is of Superman, but also kind of how tragic it can be because he hears everything and almost to us over sensory overload, and you kind of have to feel for him. We get Lois Lane, who is now taking over for Perry because he's on a sabbatical because he, for a second, remembered Clark Kent was Superman and suffered a stroke, which was what, you know, that's gonna happen. Part of me kind of wishes that more of the super family or whatever, maybe it was just Ah, never mind. I'm not gonna complain about John Kent. Anyway, so we have, an attack at LexCorp only to find out that there are these nanites that have restructured LexCorp symbol into the Superman symbol, and now it is SuperCorp, and it is being given to him by Mercy Graves, who is now kind of, basically, and she's holding him. Lex is doing this perfectly. He is holding Clark Kent, Superman, at hostage to take over this company because if not, all the contracts associated with LexCorp will falter, and most of the employment in Metropolis will go under, causing massive bankruptcies or whatever. It is like 3D chess. Lex Luthor is one of the best villains that I think is out there. Then, of course, he's going to go see Lex because this outrages him. Lex knows that something is going to prevent him from visiting him in jail. And of course, it does. We get Parasite, who is super hungry, escaped from Star Labs, and Lex basically is telling him, this is what you need to do in order to take down Parasite. Just do this. He might die. Who knows? This is an experimental thing. It is beautiful banter, one-sided banter, mind you, between Lex and Clark Kent. And what I appreciate, not only do we have like a really twist ending, but we now have a couple of panels that are setting up our future villain that I believe is coming out in issue number 2. And the only reason I know that is because I believe they are on a couple of the covers for the second issue. And then not only that, but we have multiple setups to future, one of the things on the, coming soon in Superman, we have the, kryptonite claws, the different colored kryptonite claws, which is issues number 3's cover. We have a couple of other things. And then once we get to the back page, tease, not tease, with the whole Dawn of the DCU, as it is looked like Brainiac's tentacles, we get Brainiac himself sitting there. So we know that this is going to be coming. This has been established. This has been set up since the very beginning. I think this is great. I'm super excited for this. This is great. This is something to be excited for. I am very amped for what's coming up with the Dawn of the DCU. Well, at least the, Dawn of the DCU covers, or the titles that are, according to the, checklist, forging the future one hero at a time. I picked up the Catwoman one. That has nothing to do with Dawn of the DCU. It's still continuing. I don't know why I picked it up. Maybe because I was hopeful. Maybe I think I probably forgot that there was a checklist, but they tricked me with the Dawn of the DC title at the very top of it. So, I guess good on them or bad on me, or both of that. March has us with, the Adventures of Superman, John Kent, number 1, which I think I'm actually going to pick up because I'm more curious, not if it's a good story, because I'm not a fan of Clayton Henry's art, and I'm very concerned about what Tom Taylor's going to do, but I'm more interested in, is this going to be a John Kent book? Or is this going to be a John Kent featuring John Kent as the sidekick to his boyfriend book? That's what I'm kind of wondering. The Unstoppable Doom Patrol, I will give issue number 1 a chance, and Harley Quinn, not giving that a chance, sorry. I am looking forward to Green Arrow, but I'm on the fence at, sitting that one out. I can't understand why the Superboy, the Man of Tomorrow number 1 is part of this because that was the round robins thing, so whatever, and then, I'll go through these, issue and issue at a time. I'm very excited for what is at least with this one and Action Comics so far. I think that there's a lot of hope. I don't know. What do you think? Comment down below. Am I being too optimistic? Am I not being optimistic enough? I'd love to hear from you. Like, subscribe, whatever you'd like to do. I appreciate it. I love the feedback. Thank you very much for the emails and for the comments. And until next time, I will see you in the dollar section. Okay. 1 minute. Issue number 1, written by